So, why do I want to be a counselor? To help others in a way that wasn't helped, to give the younger generation knowledge and have an impact on them, create awareness, and help them understand that it is an important thing and it's nothing to be ashamed of. And then I feel like the tools that I was given of being very empathetic with others' emotions and feelings has really catapulted me to wanting to be in this field and wanting to help others and use that skill that I was blessed with. How have I helped someone? I currently work in a residential facility for 8 to 18-year-olds in need of help in managing their mental health, such as emotional regulation. That was a big one that we currently deal with kids, and ensuring that they're able to regulate even when they're off baseline. I created a program within my fraternity that promotes mental health awareness, so that brothers are more willing to understand that it is okay and also be provided with resources when they do need them. And then finally, it's just taking care of friends and relatives that have struggled with it, with mental health. I feel like I've always been that open door and have really fallen into that role, and I feel like that's really helped me really go towards this career and be there for them. How would counseling help someone? It gives them an opportunity to share thoughts and feelings that are bottled up, an outlet, and that outlet can lead to a lot of growth in that person. Giving healthy solutions and strategies for clients or for struggles a client may have. Those struggles that a client does have, such as they can't emotionally regulate when they are off baseline. For instance, at my facility, we use the DBT skills, and those are related to like the stop skill, which is just simply just taking a step back and taking a breath, and you go through that acronym, and it teaches you to stop yourself before you do something that you know that wouldn't be a good thing. And then creating a safe environment to share their thoughts and feelings that some may not experience or have in their daily life. I feel like when you create that safe environment for someone, they understand and are more willing to open up. It's very hard when you're not being open, and they won't ever want to open up, and that's why they haven't and ended up in counseling. How does one go from hurt to not hurt? So my number one thing is being proactive in like their mental health, so treatment, and physical health, so just physical activity, eating right. I feel like that's a big tie. They tie together and can lead to a more positive outlook and just feeling better. Ability to look at everything with an open mind. So I feel like in my past, I have looked at things very single-mindedly, and when you do that, you tend to not really want to take another route, and that route hasn't been working clearly, and being able to see those other routes can help bolster you to understand yourself and be able to be more open to treatment, especially if there is something that the counselor is bringing that you might not disagree with, or you might disagree with. And then surrounding yourselves with a good support system. Feeling that you have that support system, and obviously it cannot always be super accessible. However, I feel like searching for that, and whether it be in schooling or groups or whatever it is, activities, I feel like those help give you confidence and more interactive social situations that you crave as a human. Why would someone seek counseling? To find effective strategies through daily life, such as what I've given examples of, to understand oneself and others in situations, is simple interpersonal effectiveness, understanding that, hey, this person isn't really in the right headspace, and now I'm still beating myself up even though clearly they weren't in the right headspace, and I took it personally. And then facing difficult trauma experiences from the past. I feel like trauma is always going to be different for everyone, and there's no just fix that is just there. It will always be different, And going to counseling, that counselor can be able to give them the tools to help manage it and move on from that past experience that bothers them to this day. And then replacing negative coping strategies for positive ones, such as like substance abuse. So instead of going to substance abuse, you go to something else that is more healthy, like physical activity. How do you measure change? Setting goals. I do that quite often with my clients. They have SMART goals that they can set throughout the week, and when they achieve those goals, it's obviously good for them to see that change, and as well as for us to see that change. Ability for client to regulate emotions in a healthy way on their own independently, and I think the key is independently. I feel like when you're counseling someone and you can talk them down and you can be there and you know how to work with them. However, when they're able to do it on their own, that is the true growth, and that's what you truly see. And then I wanted to add attendance to like work, school, and events. I feel like those, when I struggled the most, I completely removed myself from everything. I was calling into work, or I was missing school. And I feel like when I really started to do better was when my attendance started going up and I started showing more willingness to do more things instead of just staying up in my room. And what does it mean to be mentally well / healthy? Effectively using healthy strategies to process and manage negative and positive emotions, the ability to use self-reflection in a productive way, and using growth mindset versus a fixed one, such as perspective taking, essentially, and making effort to be physically healthy.